Welcome. Today we have Adam Richards with Reliance Bank to tell us about his career. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what you do at Reliance Bank?
Yep, I am a commercial lender and ag lender. So I deal with banking for farmers, I guess is the easiest way to put it. Not just farmers, anything ag related, whether it's a co-op, an elevator, um, farmer, farm business, maybe purchase of agricultural land, anything regarding the money side of agriculture, that's what I work with.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this type of career?
Oh, I've been doing it for about 8 years, I guess. So I worked at Wells Fargo for about 6 years doing ag lending, and I've been at Reliance now for almost getting close to 2 years already. So,
And when you talk about working with farmers and cooperatives and the money side of things, can you tell us kind of the ins and outs of that job, what ag lending really is?
yeah, so there's with many businesses, there's needs for money, whether it's capital improvements, whether it's just purchasing, like for a farm, for example. Maybe you want to have a dairy farm, so you need to purchase cattle if it was something new you wanted to do. If you're a farmer, you need to grow crops. So if you're going to grow crops, you would have to, you would either need money or you need to borrow money to, rent the land, buy your seed, buy your fertilizer, do your spraying, maybe harvest your crop, all the inputs needed, I guess, for the farming side of things. If you were maybe buying a piece of land or, an additional piece of land or your first piece of land, building a barn, maybe you wanted to do some custom finishing of hogs or, something like that, you maybe build a barn. There's lots of different pieces to it. But my job would be to work with, let's say, a farmer, collect information from him, financial information, and then figure out what I can do to help him do the things that he wants to do. There's things I can do at the bank. There's things I can do with other government institutions like the USDA have, beginning farmer programs, loans, this and that. So there's lots of things available that I can use to get people the money that they need to do whatever it is they're hoping to do.
Okay, and you're talking farmers anywhere from 18 on up, or is there an age limit to borrow money?
Nope, there's really not an age limit to borrow money. Probably with most things, the biggest limiting factor of anything is just having some kind of assets to guarantee a loan. A beginning farmer program loan obviously is the most open. It takes the least amount of collateral. It's really meant for somebody's first purchase, this and that. So loans can go basically up to 100% with different kinds of, insurance that goes with them, this and that, to make sure that the customer or the first-time farmer can get what they're looking for, and then the bank has some guarantees on, getting the money back if it's something brand new. So there's lots of different, I guess, programs or things available for that. As most things, if you have more assets, you have more collateral, you do it for a number of years, you get better products available to you. Your interest rate potentially goes down. You have more options for being flexible and this and that. You kind of earn trust and respect from banks or any financial institution, then you have more options available to you. So kind of like what would be considered, even though we don't use it per se, kind of like what a credit score is. If you are buying things on your credit card and paying them back and making your auto payments, car payments, whatever, your credit score will go up, which means you're a good credit risk and able to do more. Same thing goes with me. If I have you for a couple of years and you're doing a good job of paying your things back, I'll be more flexible with you, giving you a longer term, maybe giving you a few more breaks on different things to help you out. So.
I see. And what kind of education did it take to get you into this job? And I guess, could you tell us your journey of how you even landed in here?
So I grew up on a farm near Hutchinson, Minnesota, so west of the cities. And it was a crop farm and hog farm back at that point in my life. My dad had a farrow to finish hog operation. We were about a 250 sow farrow to finish hog operation. And we farmed anywhere from 400 to 800 acres most years. It kind of, varied from year to year, depending on the hogs, depending on lots of things. So that's what I did growing up. When I was in high school, I had no desire to be on the farm anymore because I had spent so many days of my life in the hog barns, I wanted no part of it. So I went to Luther College in Decorah, Iowa, and I got my degree there. And I just have a business management and economics degrees. And when I graduated college, ag wasn't necessarily on my radar right away. It was, but it wasn't. I had a job going back to work in ag, and ultimately, for several reasons, I ended up taking a job at Target for a number of years. At that point in my life, it was great. I worked at Target for about 10 years, um, but I missed ag. As I got older, things change. You look at things differently, and I kind of wanted to get back to ag. So I started looking and came across this opportunity in Wells Fargo, and it was very much to my skill set. To be an ag banker, it is definitely, I mean, it's not required, but it is extremely strongly recommended to have an ag background. It's really hard to teach somebody ag talk, or, you know, if you have really no experience on the farm and you're trying to now go out and talk to farmers and, you know, co-ops or, you know, whatever it is, and you can't talk the talk, you're not going to gain their trust very easily. It's really, really hard. So having that background, I just had to learn the banking side of it. And the banking side of it is numbers, which has kind of always been my strength. I guess previously in that, like when I was in high school back in the day, you know, I did FFA, I was in the farm business management, I did all those things. And it was fun going back and saying, hey, there's a career that's kind of based off part of this. You know, I was from a very small school, so it was very different for me the way I learned things and experienced things and didn't have a lot of options available to me at the time. But, you know, now, like I said, you get in the real world and you see those things. This was definitely a good fit for just my personality and then what I'm good at as well with the math and the problem solving skills, you know, coming up with ideas to finance people. So that's what led me to banking. I was at Wells for a number of years. And then the reason I'm at Reliance now is at a smaller bank, I have more control over the things that I do. You know, I'm more involved in the day-to-day decisions. I have more of a leadership role. That's what I kind of wanted at this point. I didn't want to be just a banker out there getting deals. I wanted to do more, develop people, grow other people with the bank. And so this small bank offers me the opportunity to do that more.
Great. You touched a little bit on skills you needed. You said problem solving, you mentioned some math. I would
Yep.
assume personal skills in terms of relationship building would be important. Are there other needs?
You know, like I said, math, and you don't have to be a math expert, don't get me wrong, but you have to be able to, you have to be a little bit inquisitive. You know, farmers are, I don't want to say notorious, but they are not always the most detail-oriented people. And so, you know, one of my jobs every year is I get a balance sheet from them. So, you know, a balance sheet, I have their assets and I have their liabilities, and I make sure that I've got everything represented for them. And there's a lot of times where I ask questions that it seems like the answer is easy to, but they don't have it right. You know, like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I did that. Well, geez, that's $100,000. How can you forget about $100,000? It's kind of important. Oh, yes, I just never thought of it that way. So you have to, you know, think outside the box a little bit to make the numbers work. And then being personable, like you said, that's an important one, because they're really banking with you because they trust you. They are choosing, you know, they can get financing a lot of times. People can get financing wherever they want. They can walk into different companies, different banks, and get those options available to them. I like people that like me for who I am. I want them to be honest. You know, I am very honest. I think that's a really good skill. Honesty and just being straight and forthcoming. My customers never know or never question if there's a problem or this and that. If there is, I will tell them up front. There's no surprise of, well, you know, things haven't been going very good. You know that things aren't going very good. I am very upfront and honest with you. And, you know, we have 6 months. If we can't fix this in 6 months, some major changes will need to happen. You know, I am very upfront and honest, and that's what gets me a lot of respect, I think, with my customers is there's no guessing games. There's no fudging. I help them. I come up with a lot of really good ideas, and we're able to go forward.
Very cool. Can you tell you've been in this job for quite a few years and you like it? So what are some of the perks or benefits of a job in ag lending?
I guess for me, one of the things that I think is a perk is I don't sit in the bank every day. Now, COVID makes things very different, but most farmers, they will come to the bank, but that's not where they want to be. Farmers are very proud of what they do. They love to show you what they've got, whether it's equipment, whether it's animals, whether it's crops, whether it's anything. They really like to show you their stuff. And so I think that's a great perk of the job. You know, I always joke around, I have pickup will travel. And I go to farmers and meet them there. Sometimes we go out and do things together. We'll go to a trade show, we'll do this, we'll do that. That's what I really like about my job. I do not want a desk job where I just sit and go through numbers all day. If I did, then I would have been an analyst or something like that. I don't mind doing that at times. That's obviously part of my job and I don't mind it. But I also really like being out there and interacting with customers. So if you ask me, I think that's a huge perk of a job like this. And it's similar with commercial banking, but it's not quite the same. You don't, in commercial banking, you've got customers, but it's maybe a board of directors, or it's, this guy that owns this many things, this and that. He maybe show you some stuff, but he's also probably very busy. You don't get the same time where a farmer really wants to know you, and they will always take time to show you because it's kind of a pride thing. And if you've got the ag background and they've got the ag background and you can kind of have that kind of talk, they just love to share that with you.
Yeah, people like to talk about what they have and what they are proud of.
Yes.
As we are looking for high school kids to watch this, what classes would be beneficial for a high schooler to take to get them in this career direction, do you think?
I think you don't need, like I said, you don't need advanced math. You need a good understanding of the basics in math. So you can do feel comfortable doing addition, subtraction, division, kind of figuring out ratios. Accounting is helpful. Again, not advanced accounting. You don't need to take advanced level accounting, but it's amazing when you get into like some of the balance sheets and being able to look at taxes, whatever. Having some basic understanding of some basic accounting skills really helps a lot. I will never ever claim to be a financial planner or a tax accountant and this and that, but I have enough where if I pick up somebody's tax returns, I can flip to the Schedule F, which is what pertains to me, and I know exactly what makes all those numbers, and I know the things that they can do to change those numbers, and that's all I care about. The other pages are not important to me. So that helps a little bit, and then being comfortable talking to people, communication, and I think that pertains to any job, honestly. But if you're not, and I'm not saying getting up in front of tons of people and talking this and that, but if you're not confident in yourself where you can just go and have a conversation with somebody, then a communications class is really good for you, because not everybody, you need to understand, not everybody's gonna always like you for who you are and this and that, and that's okay. Some people may not like the bank, and it may be nothing to do with you. They may just have had a bad experience with a previous banker or something like that, and they're just not interested. That's fine. You just need to be confident in who you are, and you'll find that people will be more apt to draw with you when you have that. And I think communication classes really help with that. Just get you to understand what you're good at and what you're not. That is one of the things I took away from Target in my years there, is that, everybody has strengths and everybody has opportunities. And you're not going to be an expert on everything. For example, I don't know if it comes across in the video, but I'm a very loud person. I get joked about it all the time, and it is who I am. I understand that if I have to have a tough conversation with somebody, the volume needs to come down. I need to slow down. That is one of my opportunities. It was an opportunity the first day I was hired at Target. I am 20 some years later, and it's still my number one opportunity. I can deal with it. I've gotten a lot better with it, but you have to be okay with that. You're not going to be an expert on everything. So just, again, the communications really helps with that, I feel. If you have an understanding of things that are good for you and where you can help yourself, that'll help you be successful.
Why, thank you. That was some great advice. As we go to close today, if someone wants to reach out to you for more information about banking or ag banking specifically, would there be a preferred method that you have for them to reach out to you?
They're welcome to use email or phone. My cell phone number, I guess, which is the easiest because my office phone forwards to my cell phone, but then they could also text me because I text a lot. Farmers, it's funny. Farmers are not necessarily always technological, but man, do they like to text. My phone, I had to silence it before. So they can text me or they can email me at AdamR, so ADAMR, at RelianceBankMN.com.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today.
You bet. Thank you.